really a whole lot of movement from the S&P 500. So from the report, economic activity in the service sector grew in August for the third consecutive month, according to the ISM supply executives. According to Miller, he says August services PMI level showed greater strength, driven by faster expansion rates for business activity in new orders indexes. Offsetting these positive indicators, however, are continued contraction in the employment index, a 16-year low for the backlog of orders index, and the prices index remaining near 70%. Commentary once again was led by respondents increasing citations of tariff impacts, with some indication that business activity and imports are being driven by an attempt to get ahead of additional price increases while preparing for the holiday peak season.
Gold Ice Iceberg Sell GC 150 contracts. NQ Stop Sell NQ 152 contracts.
Hey Scott, so if you open your settings on OBS and just bring them onto the screen, I can show you. So head to settings.
We have posted out the ISM Services PMI report for August 2025.
And then look for your microphone. So where it says mic auxiliary audio and it says device not connected or not available, if you just select that and then just choose it to your correct microphone.
I think you need to do a full reset for it. I'll work with you after the session.
According to the information, Elon Musk's money plans
stalled by regulators
and staff turnover.
So let me know if you guys can hear me in YouTube land, please. Oh, that's annoying. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. All right, kind of quiet. I'm waiting for that PMI number. Just came out. Stops in NQ here, and then you had a bunch of buy ice. I combined all these. I was playing a reversion and I didn't get filled at the time. There was like
prior ES short validated. ES short validated.
So there was an event. I just ended up combining all of this stuff. So this is very likely one house on top of it. So just validated short. I didn't have anything to go short for my
stock sell GC 203 contracts.
I'll come back here in a
GC
second.
Short validated.
I am short gold for all morning, being tortured, and now it's finally going. So this is potential sexy Gexie maybe. Hold on here. No, relative value is too high. So we have trade. I'm going to be going over my position trades that I take in these futures markets, different strategies.
So from the article, Musk's desire to move quickly on launching.
We have new trades where we'll enter. Most of my trades I force the market to move a ATR out of the event. Hold on, let me just get out of one of these, just so we are at an area that I will get out of one. All right, so I'll go over the short that I've been sitting in for 2 hours in a little bit, but anyway.
Stock sell YM 138 contracts.
This is a stop run into a major Gex level. I'll usually jump in right in it. We call it a sexy Gexie, like right when it fires off. But it was a little bit below there, and there's heavy relative volume coming in right now. So I don't take
Prior
it.
GC short retested.
I don't take them when I see a heavy relative volume because the big money's coming in. Right, so you can see right here this bar. So it actually would have worked. This is actually an A+ reversion as well. So I'll go over these trades. Again, I'm trading live and I'm trying to trade for myself too.
Soybeans iceberg
as I explain it.
200 contracts.
So let me get this going.
Soybeans stock sells ES 213 contracts.
Alright, that is an A+ reversion. Hold on here.
GC long validated.
Of course, missed the fill, like always. Alright, so I took an A+. We got different trades we take here, right? So I could actually be, I need to be getting out of my short here if this this event has proved bullish. The exit's up here, so I'm going to go over all this in a second. I just got to get my bearings here to get out of my trades that I have on, because all I do is make mistakes. The market should wait for me here, so nothing will happen until I'm done doing this. I'm just kidding. It's 7, so we're almost there right now. So I would stop out of that short, and I'll go over that, and then I have an A+ reversion on here that it's not looking real hot right now. Stop is up here, so this is what all these lines on this chart I'll go over. I mean, we have the MentorQ gamma lines, but then we have the lines for reversion trades and entry trades for positions, so on and so forth. So my stop for this short reversion, you can see where it says reversion 1 short stop loss SL, that's stop loss, so that's 59. So let me get that in there.
CS long validated.
White House official says Trump also emphasized that European leaders must face economic pressure on China fighting Russian war.
And then so I'm going to get out of this. So we have trades. This is the closest scalp that I think is viable these days, playing with all these algos in here. We have a trade that plays for these moves back to these volume events, right? So, and they happen with ridiculous regularity. I can show you 10 of them today already. So if this comes back here, my exit's back at the zone. I'm going to put it right in front of these Gex levels though, because I know these dealers will be hedging there. So this is just a quick type of scalp trade. It's not a position trade. For position trades, I look for these volume events in important areas, right? So my important areas. So this is an Izzy zone, inflection zone, where I will take this long if this comes. You got the stop run right in here. This is where this gapped up the other day. So I'm looking for
Iceberg by CL 161 contracts.
Short crude as well, so I got to trail my stop to that. I'll go over these trades like I said, but this is an important area with a volume event. So if this does prove bullish here, so I'll stop out of my Izzy short from this morning. I'll go over that, and I'm going to go Izzy long here if this pops up to. This is the entry for that. See where it says long aggressive, right, for this event. So I will enter at 07, so I'll stop out of my Izzy short and into my Izzy long if that gets up there. Hopefully it doesn't, but I have no control for that. And I could put on, so for my position trading, I could put on
short validated.
I could put on a 4 micros, right? So this is
RTY stock sell RT 184 contracts.
this position sizing is based on my risk level, so I'll go over all this stuff once I get my bearings here and get these orders in. All right, all that's working. So I have a reversion short on, and then I'm working position trading long Izzy. Let's see if there's anything else down here. I gotta trail my stop in crude as well. I'm short crude. Double size actually because of my thesis. Of course this is a slug as well. So if this pops up, I'm putting on a slug long also in gold. 44.05. Alright, so those are working. So I have 2 different positions. I'm short the reversion. These are all on different accounts, right? So I'm short the reversion trade. the A plus reversion trade because the entry was in the prior event. And you could have taken a back in black here too, where it tags a
CL short validated.
it tags a Gex level and starts to come back to the zone. So I'm already short that, and then I have position trading longs where I will get in because this stop run was in my important areas. It was in the Inflection zone. We looked at that, and then it's also a I should have been on my full short down here too. I wasn't paying attention. All right, so I filled on that. So I am long gold, 2 different strategies. I'm still short the reversion. That stops up here for that. So I'll come back to what I did earlier. And then my stop for these longs is way down here. So this is what this zone drawing tool does, right? So that's the volume event. If I'm getting long, I'm forcing the market for position trades. I'm forcing the market to push a full ATR out of the event to take the trade. So I'm in there, and then my stop's all the way down here. And that's just the best way that I've determined to enter these position trades because of the propensity for these. I mean, perfect example here. Great example, actually, of why I do what I do, right? So I was short gold earlier in Izzy trade. And we'll go over, there was a ton of sell ice in here yesterday. My guy from my room, Dune Runner, pointed it out. That's that. Anyway, the market opened up earlier. It was up in here, or it might have been this one. I'll look here in a second. But I took the Izzy short, and that was off of this event. So I got in when this moved an ATR out, right? And my stop was up here. Well, this is exactly why I put my stop where I put my stop. It helps me avoid. I mean, look at this halo. That's just that's algo is just screwing with everybody, right? So I put it up there. I avoided the stop out, and then I had a profitable trade. So this is why I do what I do, because I've watched 85 million of these things, and it's the best way to trade. Speaking of which, I want to get out a couple here at this Gex level because I'm not going to be. All right. So I got out 2 of them. One, we're coming into a Gex level. And this is a very important one, and you got a prior event here too. So I'm out of half of my longs already. I might be stopped out of this reversion trade here pretty shortly. Very close. So actually, I never put the stop in. That's kind of important. There we go. All right, so that should pop up there, stop me out to the tick, and then come back, and that's just the way it's been going the last 25 years. All right, so I'll get to equities here in a second. I just got all these other positions on. So I'm short crude. I would have been out some down here. I'm not paying attention. Not that I'm not paying attention. I just can't cover all this stuff at one time, obviously. So you saw how it bounces off the Gex level down here. So I would have been out of some of those on my short, but I wasn't paying attention or on the screen. So now it's, of course, popping back. There is a bunch of liquidity down here. Crude looks, I mean, look at all this liquidity. So it's not that it's going to happen right now, but I will bet anyone around the Gulf in Scottsdale, and prices are increasing, so it's not going to be cheap for you that this stuff gets tagged very likely today, right? So the liquidity, the longer it's in here, the more likely it is to get tagged, because these guys say something comes out that, you know, they say OPEC's going to flood the market with oil. Well, the market will just rip right through here. Well, they don't care. That means they want their fill. And when they want their fill, they get their fill because they're the big money, and they will force the market to their orders. That's the same game I used to play when I was a big scalper. I would load up the order book, and then I would push the market into my orders. It's the same. Everything I'm teaching you guys is based off of my experience as a large scalper and how I would react, how I would see others react. That's the whole crux of my system with these volume events, so on and so forth. So first and foremost, I am short Izzy here. I'll go over these areas why I took these trades, but I'm going to put my stop for this Izzy. It was up here off of this buy ice event that was broken ice because obviously it didn't hold. That stop was up here, and now I get to move it down. This is how I trail my stop, not because I want to break even or lose less money on the trade. It's based on something that's happening in the market. So I am going to trail my stop to that, 63.40. I have Izzy and pick shorts on here. I'm very upset I didn't get out of some of them down there because I have double size on top of it. So those stops are in. Hopefully it comes back down here. I'm going to put I should have done this to begin with, put an alert, right? So I can, it lets me know when this,
ETH short
when
validated.
it tags these levels so I can get out of some.
Top sell NQ 155 contracts. RTY long retested. Prior NQ short validated.
Alright, now my computer's freezing up. Alright, we got some stop runs here. We already had sell stops in NQ a little bit ago. First of all, let's just see what's going on with the structure stuff for my thesis.
Soybeans iceberg buys ES 200 contracts.
No real opinion right here as far as thesis, guess. That you could consider that it's an uglier balance. So balance is just two-sided trade. That is a balance. It tried to break out. This is actually an important area for this balance, right? Balance is just two-sided trades. Markets are doing one of two things. They're either balancing or they're trending or trading directionally, right? Balancing or trading directionally. Balancing, trading directionally. So this balance area is just traders placing bets, right? The longer term traders, for the most part, when it breaks out of there, whoever's wrong needs to get the hell out. So that's what that is. So here we are again. So the longs in here, who buy the dip every single time the market sells off and we keep doing bungee jumps, they're not feeling very hot right now. They thought they had it at the open, right? And not only is it back here, they put in a selling tail. Tails are very important too because that means instant rejection, right? So this is on an hourly chart, so it's not technically instant, but overall they're very important. I draw my Izzy zones to some buying and selling tails as well. So anyway, this was an Izzy zone at the time. It failed there. This is where this gap down the other day in directional conviction. I draw these zones based on the 4 important areas of charting. We'll get into that. But anyway, it did hold right where I had this zone. This was drawn prior, right? The farther it goes back, the more prior it is. Anyway, this is important area. So if this fails, I can take a fail balance breakout short with this. The only issue is now we're getting hero alerts. And if you guys have been following me on Twitter, this thing is running the show. It is unbelievable, especially when the market dies down around 10:30 Central every day. It's unbelievable. I will show you guys 5 examples basically from the last 5 trading days, and it's happened every single day. Again, so let's see where this hero alert's firing off. This is real-time options flow. It's in the equities. So the equities, the S&P is S&P 500 is the complex of all of these basically. So this is like individually, it's good to note, but the flow alerts in this is like the daddy, the king. So we're going to keep an eye on that because for some reason I'm not getting audio alerts in this. But I'm going to show you guys the ridiculousness that's going on. I mean, talk about the tail wagging the dog. It's been unbelievable. All right, so for this event, we had sell stops. I didn't do anything off of that. I could though. So different strategies. So what I'm referring to when I'm saying strategies, I'm going back and forth between all these different strategies. So I have a course on this stuff. Actually, let me post this flip book in here. So this is the flip book of everything I use in my trading. Of course, it's not working. There's my course. And then, these are the 6 distinct setups I look for with the stop iceberg stuff. It's the core of my trading. Then I look for this stuff in important areas, which comprise the trading strategies, right? That's what I'm going over. And then we have the ATR reversion, which actually I'm still in, shockingly. Didn't get stopped out here. I actually did not put my exit on this account. Hold on here. Hold on. Please tell me I put this on this account. Yes, I did. Good. All right, let me get it. I'm just going to get a couple here because I'm not going to remember. I'm going to put the rest down here. 52 is the exit for that. It's just so hard. I'm trading now. I'm trading 10 live $20,000 accounts. I'm trading the Apex stuff. My buddy backed me with $200,000 because he sees what an edge this is. And if I could prove to him, which I will, how well this stuff works, these are going to be $200,000 accounts. So, all right, I'm out of those. I'm going to flatten this. All right, so that's close enough, right? It was right on these Gex levels. So if you're trading the reversion trade, the exit is that yellow line. If you got 2 major Gex levels right in front of there, you don't have to try to squeeze out another 3 ticks, right? So I got out of that. So I am long 2 position strategies, but I did the position, the reversion trade work. Again, this is the closest thing to the scalp that's viable, in my opinion. I used to be one of the biggest scalpers on the planet, just trading off the dome, which all you guys want to do, and I'm telling you, it is a losing proposition. I made millions of dollars doing it. Why would I not still be doing it if it was easy, or you could make money doing it? You can't, because I'm not as fast. Nobody is clicking a mouse as a computer, right? So stop trying to trade that. And understand, it's just, unless you can write a program that scalps, and you're still going to be, unless you get great commissions, you're going to wear yourself down to a nub commission wise, right? There's just no way, unless you're working for a firm, and you get incredible rates. By the way, let me get these stops in for these longs here. 3586.6, because I know I'll forget, and then I'll look over and I'll lose like $3 grand, like I always do. Contact is going out on me, which isn't good. I'll be back to NASDAQ here in a second, guys. I just got to get this stuff in, or I'm gonna cost myself money. I probably will still cost myself money somehow, but 35.86. I've been very pessimistic lately, so don't even get me started. If you could have seen what I've been going through, my trade room has to hear it every day. It's been craziness as far as the tick outs, and I can gladly show you guys. It's really fun to rehash. Hold on, 35.86. I cannot read this screen. It's so far away from me. All right, those are working for my longs. My stops down here, right? This is the same thing I did earlier with this trade. Like I said, this is why I put my stop. I was short gold. I had to sit through this thing for 2 hours. That's my stop. Never stopped me out. Made a profit on it. So my long, I entered long here. I did get out of one up here. I got out of two up here, and this is exactly why. This was an important gamma level. So I got out of half my trade, my long. So if this comes back, I'm gonna, I'll probably lose a little bit now because I got out. That's how I trade. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me, right? So of course I don't have the trading in the zone doc. I'll get that because we got to do some rants on that. So anyway, I'm short. My stops down. I mean, I'm long. My stops down here for gold. Let's go over to. We'll get back to this stuff here. So anyway, algo guy is bearish in Nasdaq. And I'm actually missing potentially plus reversion here. But this is the same thing we just took in. Of course, I missed it. Damn it. So I should have had my order right here. So this is the reversion trade. Same trade I just took in gold. That one, right? I don't know if I would have been filled there. Probably would have missed it by a tick and still been bitching about it, but come on. All right, so I'm filled on that. Stop for the reversion trade. So this is the scalp. This is the only scalp I do, per se, right? It's just literally playing for a move back to the volume event, and then I'm out, right? Speaking of which, let's put it on this. Let's just see how many things I can put on this account so then I forget all my orders and get crushed.
NQ long validated. Prior ES short retested.
Right,
ES short retested.
I don't know if something's coming out of here. Definitely looks like something's coming out.
705 contracts. NQ stop by NQ.
All right, I'm out of those.
54 contracts. YM disqualified.
So if I'm in a, something just came out, I guarantee it, as usual. It's some headline, like always. You can just tell by the speed of the orders coming in. Anyway, if I'm in a reversion trade and a new event happens, I'm out, right? So I was waiting for that, got in, new event, I get out of the trade. So small loser and on to the next trade. Again, you can tell when something comes out. If you watch these markets enough, you can just tell by the speed of the orders coming in. Something was said there, and of course the market's ripped off the page. And you can see something even pulled here. You can tell the liquidity in crude pulled a little bit too. So something was just said somewhere. So this is the new normal, guys. It's every day. It's calmed down a little bit, but you still get these, Trump on True Social every 5 minutes, and then there's a tariff headline, and this is just the new normal. So you just gotta hope. And then you throw in the hero movement, this thing. Again, I'll get into this rant in a little bit because this is just unbelievable, what this thing has been doing to the market, how this controls the markets. So again, these dealers get loaded up, and then they have to hedge with the futures. So this just moved over $1 billion. So Brent from SpotGamma, this is SpotGamma Hero, right? This is real time. This is very expensive to have, by the way. This is, they offer this, but this is they pay a shitload, pardon my language, of money to get this information. Anyway, this thing just ripped from minus 600 million to plus 800. That's 1.4 billion notionally, and Brent says anything over a billion is notable and market moving, and you can see it's exactly what just happened, because this is what runs the show now. It is unbelievable. Again, there are ways to take advantage of this when you get the hero alerts, and there was one in here. This one kind of let us know, right? So the way Brent talks about it, so the purple line is the options activity, right? When you get a flow alert, that means a huge size just fired off, and the market usually reverses. This did exactly what it was supposed to do. So you get the flow alert, it kind of levels out, and then the market turns the other way, right? So that's how you can see it. Other than that, I'm trying to learn this tape. They had a webinar yesterday to kind of see when you're going to get these like yesterday was 5 billion move. I'm going to go over all this, but it's like, it's great to see why you lost. I want to know, how to avoid losing, instead of just saying, oh yeah, I just lost that because the hero moved 5 billion. That's great and all, but I want to kind of preemptively, get out of the way. This thing is that hero. I can't every time. It's like against my position every time. It's very strange, but. All right, so Macron's saying something. I don't know if this is why the market ripped, but again, hero ripped too, so who knows why. It doesn't really matter why, right? It's like, it is what it is. And it gets really annoying, but you just got to put your stops in and hope you don't get stopped out. So again, something's being said here, so I'm probably going to blow out of these crude trades that I didn't get out like I was supposed to down here, some of them. But you can tell too, again, when they start yanking the orders and the order book looks dark.
Crude iceberg by CL. 152 contracts.
Alright, something's going on here. I'm going to blow out of these crude shorts. Just so tired of that line shit. I'm just so tired of it. I know these are markets, but holy crap, man. It's just non-stop. Again, you can always tell when this thing turns black. I called it 10 minutes ago. I said you could see they're pulling in crude. I guess I could have got out of some, but it is what it is. So I'm probably going to stop out of those trades. So that was delightful. What was that? Stopped out of crude. Get out of these here. That's just brutal, man. We'll find out what the news is after, after you get blown out of the trade. Then they come out and say what it was, so it's not very useful. So, all right, out of those, give it the old college try, but. Again, I should have been out of some of these too. I would have been out of at least a quarter of I had 16 micros on. I would have got out of at least a quarter here at Gexie 2. I just lost track of it, and I pay the price. That's the way it works for me. Alright, let's see what I'm doing here. Alright, as far as these new events here, you got sell ice, and there was huge buy ice here, and ES to start the day. I didn't do anything off of this. There was nothing in my trading strategies to go short off of this. If you did, it moved a little bit in your favor, and then of course the bungee jump and it reacted to these Gex levels, because this is what runs the show.
153 contracts.
So something's going on in crude, guys. I don't now all the buy ice is coming in and it ripped off the page, so I don't know what's happening, but it's again. So you're really never going to know. So all you can do is play your volume events and play them accordingly. So I at least was able to save a little bit here. Remember, I got short off of that event. I didn't even show you the Izzy zone, but that was this. The time it came up here, that was the bias right there, and I went short off of that because I had a volume event in an important area, my Izzy zones. Again, I should have been onto some there. That was a good, that was 20 ticks. I would have taken. It doesn't matter how many ticks it was. Granted, you don't want to put on trades risk reward wise if there's a bunch of stuff and you're risking, very little or a lot to make a little. But this is the second highest Gex level on the board, so I would have been out of some. Again, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Anyway, I did get the new event, so I was able to trail my stop a little bit. So out of that trade, and now you can see this bias is coming in. So I would probably combine these two as well because they were back to back. So this is the zone drawing tool. Another beauty of it, you can adjust them. Right, so I'm gonna make them.
DC long entered.
All right, I'm still long gold too. Slug and Izzy, and we got the reversion winner earlier, right? Got the reversion, and I'm long. I'm already long. There's nothing to do on it, so I have other trades that I look for the ATR retest, where I wait for the ATR plus retest, confirm, then I go long. It's called the bark trade, bark and lick trade, but I can't put that on because I need algo guy. This is an exponential moving average. It needs to be in my direction, and that's not, so there's no trade there. I'm still long 2 strategies, just not bark and lick. By the way, this was pointed out by, remember in my trade room, I posted this when I got home. I was on the golf course when he posted it, and I was like, what in the hell is that? You can see here, there was about 5,000 sell ice in gold last night, like out of nowhere. I've never seen that much at that time of day. What is this? I don't know what the hell that is. So anyway, I posted this yesterday. This is thanks to Dooner in my room. He's the teacher's pet, probably the top trader in there now. He actually even did a webinar for me a couple weeks ago when I had an emergency. So he's like a mini me. Anyway, you can, this
long validated.
Out of nowhere.
Yes, long validated.
Hold on here. All right, I might, as long as there's no heavy relative volume, there's not. I can potentially take
ETH long validated.
A reversion trade off of this gamma wall, but it's got to come back right now basically. So again, I'm going to take another reversion trade here, and then I'm going to see what position trades I can take on. So again, you got to use some judgment here, right? So the reversions you can take one of two ways. You can take them as they run into the, actually this one I might have already did this already. Yeah, forget it, I'm out of this. So this already did it, right? So this tag the ATR, this is why we have this trade. The tag right in front of the ATR. The ATR is the blue line. That's that. 30, what is that? 31? Yeah. So this is where you would enter the one ATR. So it already happened. So I don't take them again if it already happened. So this is my point. Like if you're waiting, so if I was waiting for I on these webinars, and most of the time on my own, I'm taking back in blacks, meaning I'm waiting for it to tag something important, and then I take the corresponding reversions, and I'm out of the zone. Right? You can take them aggressively, but you got to take every single one, or you're not. There's no edge. It's a random trade. Anyway, this was the aggressive entry. Tag the 1-8 right in front of the ATR. That's what this dotted line is. It's the 1 ATR entry. There's the 2 ATR entry. The 3's up here. The 1 stop is right there. Anyway, back to the zone. That's a winner. I just, I wouldn't have taken the aggressive anyway. But the point is, I'm not taking this one now because that already happened. All right, let's see where we're at here. All right, so I mean, this held where it should hold. We were just talking about I was going to take a failed balance breakout right at the beginning of the webinar. Look where it held, right at the high volume node. What's the high volume node? It's just the middle of the balance area where the most trade occurred, right? That held where it should. Now you got battle of the tails. So whatever tail breaks here is very, very likely going to be the bigger move, right? If it comes back up here, you got all the shorts in here that are crapping themselves that want the hell out of the trade. If it comes back again, all the longs that thought they had it, they went out. So this is the battle of the tails. Whatever tail this breaks, my guess, again, it's just a guess. I don't know what's going to happen next. That's why I use real-time volume events. That is going to be the next big move, right? So here's a perfect example, too. If I'm staring at a bar chart when we first got on, and I was like, well, look at that. I tried to break out selling tail. Oh, we're down here. This was a big red bar at the time, right? And I'm like, if I'm just staring at a bar chart, I'm like, oh, I'm going short here. Well, I was ready to go short, but my volume event didn't confirm short, and I never went short, right? This guy right here. So it never even sniffed the entry for a short or tagged the ATR below. That's how I determine whether the volume event is bullish or bearish, whether it can push an ATR out of the zone. This is a perfect example. I have an opinion of what I had an opinion that the market was going to break there, but the real-time volume event said not so fast, right? So I probably could have gone long off of this, off of something. I just missed it, of course, because it's a big winner. No Izzy, so I'm okay with that. I didn't miss anything there. Let's see what I missed on the. Let's see what I missed here. I'm sure I missed something. Not really anything. Came down close to the yellow Ludwig level. We call them lugs. I don't have a trade off of the yellow. I have trades that we already took one off the or long one off of the blue, off of the major ones. Right. This is why we use these things. Look at this. It's like, boom. And then when it forms new ones, it's telling you something too, so you can come up with a thesis on that. So for instance, say you went long here and you're like, oh, I'm going to go short here. It worked a little bit, but then it formed new lugs. Well, what is that telling you? It's telling you if it forms new lugs, what should happen if it can hold prior red, new directional yellow, you expect the next red up. And there you go, right on cue. I think I missed this. Did I miss this slug? That was the beginning of the day, right? I took the Izzy, and that was a slug too. I didn't even see that. That was this guy. So that's upsetting. I just saw that right now. I don't know what I'm smoking, but that was that, right? I took the Izzy. I showed that already, and avoided the stop out, and got out down here. Anyway, that was a slug that I missed. Again, every single trade for 25 years, it feels like anyway, that I miss is not only is it a winner, it is instant. And this one wasn't really instant because you got tortured to death, but you see my point. Like, that was this, I believe that was that, or maybe not. Maybe that was after the fact, but you still could have taken it, right? See how it came up here? That was here. But you could still take it once it tags in and starts to come back again, right? So anyway, it doesn't matter. I missed it, but I'm just showing you guys these are my areas, right? So this is an area that's very important that I look for volume events. That right there is the slug. First one on here. Stop run at major lug, red or blue. Take any trade as a fade trade with a stop run into a major lug. And it's an aggressive entry, meaning you first move out of the zone, you take the trade. So missed that one. Story of my life. All right, so there's really nothing for me to go long here unless this is this algo guy pulled. I can take some bark and licks here.
Nat gas ice iceberg sell NG 150 contracts.
Nat gas number just came out. Nat gas is a huge pain in the ass. I mean, it makes some big moves, but if you want to ride a bucking bronco, that's your market. It's really annoying.
Nat gas ice iceberg sell NG 152 contracts.
I need algo guy here. Go think or swim. The charts just disappear off the page, and let me pull that off of there. Half my life is literally searching for charts on this piece of crap software. They just like disappear, and I just can't find them. It's unbelievable. All right, so anyway, algo guy is bullish now. It just pulled, right? So this is the exponential moving average. So we've got different trades for this. Like when it crosses, very important. You got those algos that play the cross. We got to trade for that if we have certain requirements. That there wasn't, I'm not even going to get into it because it didn't happen, but if I see one, I'll show it. Anyway, this is bullish, so that is my filter for the bark and lick trade. What's the bark and lick trade? The bark, because so I've been talking the whole webinar how I'm looking for these volume events in my important areas, right? Well, there's still an edge in the event in itself, right? So I want to take advantage of the event in itself. That pattern, I will wait for it to tag the ATR, come back to the zone. That's the retest, so it's bark, right? That's the acronym for it. What is bark? B stands for blind, meaning it doesn't have to be in an important area. I just want to take advantage of the volume event. A means it moves an ATR out of the zone. R is for the retest of the zone. C is the confirm, meaning it comes back out, then you enter. Right, so that's still in play here. If this comes back, I know it's already come back to the zone, but it never tagged the actual ATR. Now it did. So now if it comes back, does this, I can put on the bark and the lick. The lick is the bark trade, but you're just holding the heavy resting liquidity. So I would hold it to probably that. So we'll wait for that. If that happens. Other than that, like for my trading strategies, there's nothing for me to be long right here. In NASDAQ, right, and I'm fine with it, right? If this moves, I get some guys, or not recently, but I've gotten some guys in my trade room like in NASDAQ will move like 200 points, and I don't have a trade on. And they'll be like, "How do you not have anything on? The thing just moved 200 points." Well, because it didn't fit my strategies. I just don't jump in trades. Like, how do you know it's going to move 200 points until it already moved 200 points, right? So if I don't have a strategy, I don't put it. There was nothing for me to go long here. No Izzy's. There is no market profile composites, we call them picks. There is no lugs. The only thing I got going is a bark and lick, and I need a retest, right? By the way, this is that yellow lug I'm going to get out of some of these gold longs that I have on. What was my other position here? That's what I was just on. So I got out of some earlier in the same area, so I probably didn't have to get out right here, but again, I can't really keep track of it. The yellow lug is an important lug, right? And you can see the first time I tagged it, came back, bounced off the blue lug. This is why we use these things, guys. I mean, look at this. You can trade these blind and probably make money. I mean, you can because it's an incredible edge. I demand a volume event, but I mean, holy crap! Boom, 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 boom. They're nuts, right? And when they form new ones, it's telling you something too.
Validated.
Yeah, I already got out of some here earlier, so I probably could. I still have 1 on. I had 3 on or 4 on. I got out of 2 earlier here. I forgot that this was the same area I got out before, but whatever. If this rips, I still got some on. It's gonna have some trouble getting through this area, right? Prior trades. What was that? Why am I long 8? It's my usual forget the order in the order book. At least I caught it there. All right, so I still have 1 gold, and I've got nothing else on right now. So let's go over to let's see what happened with ES here. Since all you guys love watching ES for some reason. Again, this is the market I made my millions of dollars on, and I can't stand watching it most days. It's just really, really, especially when the ATR sucks. It's not too bad right now. 5's not bad. So this one has never officially retested, right? So if you took it off the Gex 1, which was the right trade, this is why you just keep putting the trade on, right? So if I would have been on here, I would have taken this trade. So you got the sell ice event, tag the Gex 1. I definitely would have put on the 1 ATR.
152 contracts.
The 1 ATR entry here, right? And then the stops up here. So I would have been stopped out of that one. That's the trade. It doesn't matter. Every trade's not going to be a winner. I don't care what you're using, right? So that actually, now I could be happy for a couple minutes till I get screwed on the next thing. That I would have taken that short. So if my trade room took it, this is the highest gamma level on the board as well. That is the right trade. It is also telling you something thesis-wise that it busted right through here. So if you watch any of my webinars lately with Fabio from MentorQ, he talks about when these levels do break, there's just like anything else in trading, right? It's resistance until it's not, then it's support. So, and it's telling you something too if it just got right through there. So as usual, the equities look bullish. And this looks very bullish, right? So you got a buying tail here too. That did come down. Did I miss an Izzy trade here? It looks like I did. Let's see. Again, I'm doing the best I can. I mean, even when I'm sitting there by myself, it's like I'm watching so many markets, and that's what I've chosen to do. I have the bandwidth to usually do it, but it's like it's really hard for me to watch all these different markets, all these different strategies on the webinars because I got to bring the screen over, explain things, and I'm missing a ton of stuff. So there was really no Izzy here, right? That did come down. That was there. There was no volume event, so I don't take the trade. You could have taken a. You could have taken the reversion off the Gex 4. I think that retested. If not, you could have taken it pretty much off these Gex levels. So that worked. I didn't catch that one, of course. But so anyway, if this does this, I can put on Bark and Lick, right? And I could put a variation red rum on. What's red rum? Well, when there's a volume event in the red ribbon. The red ribbon is the longer term exponential moving average ribbon. So these are just time periods, right? The longer term time periods. We have a trade for when it comes into these, and you get an opposing volume event. So in this case, it would need to be buy ice or sell stops. Sell stops are just usually pukes. We call them the dumb and dumber, where it goes the other way. Well, this was not. This was sell ice, and it was earlier. But now, if it came back and did one of those, I can put the red rum on too. So that's just another trading strategy, right? So the whole point in, if you come in my room or you get my course, it's not to try to implement every single strategy right off the bat or even within your first year, right? Take 2 or 3 of them. Say, wow, I love what Scott showed with the Ludwig levels. I'm going to look for a slug. I like the bark because that's a little more active. I'm going to take the bark, and then I'm going to look for the Izzy trade, or I'm going to look for the pick trade. You're not going to be able to trade all these. So what I always tell traders is pick 1 or 2 of the position trading strategies. Pick one of the auto fade strategies. That's where you're jumping in right in the middle of the zone. Say these are newer trades that we've implemented, newer strategies. Sexy Gexie, we haven't taken one of those yet today, but it's when you get the volume event, opposing volume event into those Gex levels, because you already know that the dealers are going to be hedging at these levels, right? And we want to take advantage of it. I'm sure we'll probably get one on this webinar. And then the reversion trades, right? So here's the A+. We've taken a couple of those today. One worked, the other one didn't, kind of. Then it was a NASDAQ, and the new event came in, and I got out. Then here's the back in black, where you're waiting for it to tag something and come back after showing, like I said, I would have taken it back in black here, right? Tagged the highest gamma level and started coming back, and that one would have been a loser to the tick, by the way. So be glad I didn't put that on, because I would be bitching right now that I got stopped out of the tick for the 88th time this week. But again, guys, this is what trading is. It's an edge. It's probabilities, which will lead me to my... I got to go over the rant every time, because...
The rant is BLS data
it's the most important thing you can do in trading. Anyway, I've got to show this. So this is actually a little ridiculous, but it's actually pretty true. So they got you got to put your pet that's on your trading station. Every morning I come in my office. My daughter's cat is in my office because I've got like 85 screens in here, so I guess it's warm. He's sitting on my keyboard on my I actually have to turn off my trading station, like the order entry stuff, because he's on the keyboard. I don't want to put on trades. So they have that. Here's the, I'll put this in the YouTube channel, and I'll put the flip book in there too. But it's a trading con. They want you to post your, I don't really have enough information here. Join this month's competition, chance to be featured in the trading calendar. So this is the link I'll put in. Let's see what this says. There you go. So put your pet. I swear this. I will put this up. It's kind of, again, it'd be a little ridiculous, but my cat literally sits like on the keyboard right next to my computer. So I'll enter that competition. So enter that. I'll put this in the. I'll put that in. You gotta laugh when you trade, guys. That's I'm telling you, or you will lose your mind, like I am doing right now. Over the last week, I started trading my buddy's accounts, right? And it's like, all of a sudden I have this extra pressure to show him how well this stuff works, right? And so it's like I'm putting all this pressure on myself, and I'm trading tiny, like they're $20,000 accounts, but for him it's nothing. Like he doesn't care if I lose 500, 2,000, whatever. But the point is, if I show him how well this stuff works, then he's backing this stuff for $200,000 each strategy instead of 20. So it's like it's pressure on me that I'm just putting on myself. But I've been a basket case all week. You could ask my room. I've just been. It's like the more upset you get, the more I'm getting like ticked out and things like that. I've been ticked out of trades this week, probably 30 times, and I'm not exaggerating. Like to the tick, filled to the tick, then stopped out, or stopped out to the tick. Trade works. So I'm really close to being committed. So you guys can come visit me in the rubber room. Just wave to me through the window. All right, here's that flip book too, by the way. This is all on the YouTube channel. If you guys got questions, throw them in the YouTube channel. All right, once again, the markets just sit here waiting for a hero rip or a market headline. And otherwise, they do nothing. Let's take a look here. All right, so I might as well go on this one. There was a flow alert here that I didn't hear because for some reason there's a bug in mine. I even switched browsers and I'm still not getting the alerts on this. This was a flow alert, so this should be bearish. Should be. That we have a trade for this called the Flow Bee. Yes, the hair cutting machine you saw in the infomercials when you were growing up. So it's when you get, it's one of the auto entry trades that I just showed you where you're not waiting for the ATR move out of the zone. So when you get the flow alert, if an event comes in that is, in this case bearish, remember we were just talking about this. You're watching this options, the purple is the options activity, right? When you get a flow alert, that means something big options wise just happened, right? So the way this usually works, once this thing levels out, the market turns over. This is telling you something on top as well. So this is an occurrence. Actually, Brett refers to me because I pointed this out to him because we already saw one earlier that worked perfectly, right? This is what it should do. So remember earlier when we got on the webinar, got the flow alert, this leveled off, market ripped. Well, do you see that happen in here? You got the flow alert.
Sell NG 158 contract.
You got this flow alert. And this leveled off. Did the market rip? No, it's kind of spinning in place. What does that tell you? Well, the dealers are still hedging themselves. Somebody's absorbing that. So what do you think is going to happen when this now turns back up again? This thing's going to rip off the page. So be ready for that because that's what's going on. Been going on every day, all day. And I'm going to go on my little rant here because it is just insanity, right? So this is the little blip that it had after the arrow. This market tells me it's going to rip off the page. I'm not just jumping in along here, but the point is, like, you can, and so you know that, right? You know the hero alert file, and what do we talk about this? This should have helped, right? right? Now that it blew through here, so we know someone is observing the hero because the market should have turned. It didn't. And it got through the Gex level. So this is telling me this market is, again, this is a guess. I let the volume events tell me what to do, but this is telling me this market's going to rip off the page today. We'll see. Until, like, then I get long, and then there's a Terrafed line, and I got blown out of the trade. Anyway, let me find this Twitter. X, whatever it's called. Just so,
short retested.
so this stuff's been going on every single day at 10 o'clock, 10 to 10:30. Every single day. I mean, I've been putting this in every single day. So let's see, what was the first one I put in last week? Here we go. This was August 27th. Well, would you look at that? The usual 10:30 to 12:30 central load up the options dealers game manipulation is seen once again by the hero by SpotGamma. Today is the 2 billion notional. So the way it's been working is, and this was the game that used to be played back. It's always been played because these algos and the bigger players, like the scalpers back then, it was a local that I was trading. They call him a local. It was a guy I would trade against every day. Like he was he could put on 6,000 E-mini S&Ps. I could put on 3. So he would bully me all the time, right? So he would wait till 10 o'clock central, 10 to 10:15, 10:30ish, and then he'd start playing his game where he would just be pushing, flipping the market. He was crossing his own orders. It's a lot, go watch the ASFX video I just did with him. I explained at length what this guy was doing, right? The point is he's able to do it because there's nobody in the market right then. As far as big players, they're going to lunch. New York goes to lunch. Chicago goes to lunch. They're not going to step in front of the nonsense that they would be seeing because they're not there, right? So he would start playing his game. Well, the newest game in town is, hey, let's go ahead and load up the options dealers. That's the purple line we've been talking about. Well, they're selling. They're either buying puts or selling calls, which is bearish flow, right? Well, who's on the other side of that? The dealers. What do the dealers have to do? They have to hedge in the futures. Every single day this has happened, literally blindly. And I said this yesterday, and I forgot to do it. And actually, I went long because I was on a damn call on an A+ reversion. Anyway, you can literally just 10 o'clock. So my time is actually that was at. This was later in the day. Let's start at the 10 o'clock. It's still happening during the day, but it's even more prevalent. Here we go. Hold on. I've put in like 10 of them lately. Let's see. What was the main one though? This was later in the day. I just wanted to, let's just go recently. Let's just go back to yesterday and we'll go backwards. All right. Look at this. It's just. Again, at least you can see why the market's doing what it's doing. It's not really helpful if you're getting run over. It's like, great, I found out why I got run over. That doesn't help me. Here we go. This was yesterday. Is this Groundhog Day? Nope, it's just the daily. Load the options dealers up and force them to hedge in the futures at 10 a.m.-ish. Daily manipulation is shown once again by the incredible SpotGamma over all time. So this is what happened yesterday. So this is Eastern time. So it was right around 10 o'clock. Again, this was like 10:15 Central, and that's my time right here, right around 10 or 8:15 my time. I'm 3 hours behind Eastern. So if you look at these charts and you get confused, it's because I'm 3 hours behind. Anyway, went from 4.5 billion to basically zero. So that's a 4.5 billion move within a half an hour, and look what the market did. And again, it applies to the NASDAQ and ES. ES moved too. I think it moved like 20 points or 30 points. I can't remember. But the point is, SPX is this is the biggest options complex on the planet. So this, the NASDAQ does exactly what this is following this too. So you can trade either the NASDAQ or ES. Anyway, there you go. Manipulation. And then it did this, and then it turned back up, and then the market turned right back up. It's just every single day. It's that easy. It must be that easy just to load up dealers. And again, I don't fault the guy. There's another one. I don't fault these guys that are doing it. If I would have known about this game back when I was a huge scalper, I would have done the same thing. I put on my max contracts and I have no bullets left. Well, let's just start buying some options and make the dealers buy the futures, right? I mean, I don't blame them, but it's unbelievable how well it works. It really is. This was yesterday. Was this yesterday? No, this was 2 days ago. It was September 2nd. And on Q around the 10:30 Central Time. Load up the dealer manipulation once again as seen by the real-time options flow. Here we go. This one was minus 2 billion, went from minus 2 billion to plus 2 billion, almost plus 3 billion. 5 billion notional at that exact time of day. This was 11 o'clock. That was a little bit before that. So it was about 10:30, 10:45 Central. 5 billion. This one only yanked the ES up 40 points straight. So it's like, so my point is, you got to keep an eye on it. You're not gonna. There is a way to do this, and he just did a webinar yesterday. I started watching it. I still didn't get the answers I wanted. See this tape here? There's got to be a way to foresee that coming in before it already moves to 5 billion. Great, like I said, it's great to know it moved 5 billion. Why you just lost on your trade? I want to preemptively see it so I can participate. This is showing that, but this is showing that action or activity. This is like a time in sales. It's so hard to watch, and some of it spreads. And the thing is, there's a filter on here, and this is what I want to learn. So I'm going to do a webinar with Brent. They told me to watch yesterday's and see if I got my questions answered, which I did not. I'm not all the way through it yet. But if not, I'm going to do one with them, and I'll put out an email, and you guys will know. I'll put it on my X page and everything else. But there's a way, I'm sure, we can filter this to give us a heads up. Here we go. Here comes the big options activity to know before you get run over on the 5 billion move. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know this stuff, guys. This and the Gex levels. I mean, we're watching it all day. Like you've got to know these areas if you're trading nowadays. Like I never even paid attention to the options back in the day. The option, because it was minute. It was not big at all. It has exploded. This zero date expiration game has exploded. So you got to know what's going on. So it's just like this SI Stop Iceberg stuff. I say it to you guys every week. You can be a profitable trader without it, but you don't have all the information. So just think, if you had all the information, how much of a profitable trader you can be, right? It's the same with the options information. You can make money without knowing it. Most people don't know this stuff. But what you want to know, like for instance, you saw this when I got long. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get out of this. It's the high volume, the zero date to expiration. Who knew? That's the high volume area where these dealers need to hedge. And look what happened. So don't you think you want to know this stuff, where this stuff is for targets and so on and so forth? So between the hero from the SpotGamma, the MentorQ levels, why I love MentorQ too, is that he has them for all these futures markets, right? SpotGamma only has it for the equity markets and the individual equities.
Prior CL long validated.
So
CL long validated.
Speaking of which, this is the trade I got blown out because this is another example, right? This is when I was bitching that I was off this screen. I would have got out at the second, some of them, not all of them, at the second highest Gex level. I missed that. I should have had the damn alert in there. That was my fault, and I paid the price. This thing came back 40 ticks, and I got stopped out. That cost me $500. Not cool, but that's my own fault. The point is, you need to know these areas if you want to be effective in your trading. If you don't, you don't have all the information. And I missed an A+ reversion here, of course. So this is the A+ reversion, event. Here's your 1 ATR. Oh, is that to the exact tick? Sure is. Right back to the zone. So I missed that. I don't know how I missed this because I changed this zone too. Another missed trade. So this has been my life lately with these missed trades. I have no excuse on that one. I was staring at that chart. So hopefully someone in my room caught that guy. All right, so that's my rant. If you guys got questions, throw them on YouTube. I got to take a breath here. Scott, can I turn up the volume? I can't turn up, I guess, mic volume. You can turn up your volume too, unless you're at max. I don't know how to, this is at pretty much max. Again, I don't claim to be a... I think it's on max, guys, so sorry if you can't hear me. I'm going to get a new microphone. Yeah, see, I got it at 98%. The desktop I have pretty low, so I don't know. You just gonna have to deal with it. Turn up your volume best you can. Sorry about that, but let's see what else here. Literally, these markets just sit and wait for hero movement, options movement, or headlines. That's all the trade is lately. Is that gold? Yes, Leroy, that was gold. I got short this morning. Sat in this thing for 2 hours. I already went over this trade, but there was an inflection zone, an Izzy zone that I draw with the volume event, and you could have taken a sexy Gexie. I didn't take the sexy Gexie here because there was heavy relative volume, meaning you jump in right when the volume event fires off at a Gex level. because heavy relative volume, you don't want to be messing with them. This one did work, but I don't take them. I've learned my lesson not to take them during heavy relative volume. And I'm using the Sierra chart heavy relative, or the relative volume chart, right? Hold on here, let me get this stuff up here. Right, so this is telling me the exact 5-minute volume for the last 30 days. So this is very helpful for me.
NQ stocks stock by NQ.
Come back.
156 contracts.
There we go. Remember what I said about that absorbing the hero action. Let's see, where are we at? Why can't I find my NASDAQ? Here it is. All right, so this is a potential sexy Gexie right here. Potentially, right? So you can either, you just saw the gold where the stop run fired off, right? It doesn't have to be a stop run, it has to be an opposing event, either buy stops, which are usually fades because it just guy's puking, or sell ice, right? So this one I could still take. It's not right on here. Say it came up here. This is a great risk reward trade, right? Because this position sizing is basing, if I take my short, this is where I'm entering. And this is where I'm exiting. This is where this position sizing comes in. And this is all customizable in the Scott Zones drawing tool. It's in that flip book. I'll go over it. If I'm getting in here, well, I could put on more than 0.4 of a contract because I'm not getting in all the way down here with a short, right? So I'm only risking here to there. So if this so this is a variation sexy Gexie where if it got up here and started to struggle, and I'm going to judge this, by the way, I've been seeing some ridiculous things with the market pulse, with the, obviously the price change. I'll go over this. This is insane as it is. I'll go over this, but you can at least know why the market is doing what it's doing when nothing's going on, and this is happening full force. This is the 5-minute price change market pulse. Every time the thing goes too far, flips back. Goes too far, flips back. Too far. So now you got a price change with a stop run here too. The other thing I've been looking at, and I will show you guys, it's going to help you decide in certain areas whether to hold or get out, is the pace of tape. This thing, I'm seeing some ridiculous things with this. So this is all market pulse. This is, again, you get this stuff on the Bookmap marketplace, right? Just show this quickly. I don't want to miss that trade though. I just want to show you guys real quick. Not like these markets are doing anything anyway, just sitting around. So if you get the MBO bundle, you need this. So, you know, if you're gonna trade, if you're gonna get the Stop Iceberg information and follow what I'm doing, which you should, because it's the most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life, futures trading, you also get the Market Pulse. This should be its own subscription because it's so powerful. They actually built Market Pulse for me. I asked them to do that because I wanted a better version, and I still use this. I actually didn't have it on. This is Tick Strike. Right, I wanted a better version of this right here, right? So these are little meters. It tells me when there's heavy buying coming in. So it's an algo based on the speed of the orders coming in and the size, right? So I've used this for 15 years, but it doesn't show any history or anything like that. So I asked them to build Market Pulse. So the very first algo they had for this thing was the volume, pressure, and balance, right? This one here, it's just showing between the spread between the buyers and the sellers, how quick this stuff's going in. And then they've added all of these different algos. So they've just taken this and run with it for my request. But anyway, the newest one that I've been watching, it's pretty incredible, is the pace of tape. So you can tell when it gets to an area. So for instance, like the stop run, obviously the orders are coming in faster, right? So say we get up to, say I'm long, right? Of course I'm not, because I don't like easy trades like this as I did. And it comes up to this Gex 1 where I know dealer's going to be hedging. And I'm trying to decide, hey, do I want to get out of semi long? Well, you can follow the pace of tape. If you don't see the pace of tape, like buying coming in fast, it doesn't even have to be volume wise. It just has to be, hey, is the speed of the orders coming in? That's many times you can get out of the trade, right? Or a lot of times that I've been seeing too, it comes up here and you see the pace of tape going the other way. It's like, okay, I need to get out of some of these, right? So I've been seeing some incredible thing. We'll see if we can pick one up on this webinar. If I put a damn trade on, I should have been using it in gold here. But anyway, so that's what this is on. I've been begging them for years now to give us another panel down here. If you're watching Bookmap developers, Vadim, please. Or it doesn't have to be another panel, right? There's not a lot of room left on this chart. But why can't we have tabs, Vadim? right? So it'd be something like this. So on the first tab, you have the SI stuff. Second tab, you have volume, pressure, and balance. Third tab, piece of tape, right? And you can, instead of having everything on top of each other. So I got to sit here all day, you know, coming over here and clicking this on and off, right? This is where you do it. So you turn it on and off there. But it's like, why can't we have tabs? Again, I'm not a programmer. It's obviously not as easy as it sounds, but I'm going to pretend it is, and I'm going to bitch about it. NQ slug, thank you. So guys, this is what I want from my trade room. If you come to my trade room, be ready to participate. If you don't want to participate, then don't come to my trade room, right? We want trader. I want it to be like our own trading firm. So Jim Thomas is Dune Runner. He's the top trader in my room, right? He catches everything. He's like, he catches more than I catch. So he just put in the Bookmap chat right here, here's a slug. I didn't even know we were here. Am I short right now? No. If this stop run we're seeing right now, if it proves bearish, then I'm going to go short. What does prove bearish? It's got to move the ATR plus out of here. And then I enter here. And this is aggressive, meaning I'm first move out. Now, if it turns bullish, this event, I'm still gonna take the sexy Gexie here if this gets up here. If this event turns sexy Gexie short, if it turns bullish, well then that trade's off the table. So this helps keep me out of trouble. Like I'm not, if this thing rips, I'm not short. If it shows me its hand, meaning it push the ATR out of here, then I'm gonna go short. I will take a sexy Gexie short here. Again, this is a variation. If it comes up here, we'll try to use the order book pressure to determine, I mean not order book pressure, that's one of the algos. I haven't seen that much in that one. I thought I would see a lot more in that one, but if say the pace of gets up here and the pace of tape is doing nothing, then I have no problem shorting up here. Let's see if we can get up there. Other than that, if this fails, I'm going to go short the slug stop run at major lug, where it's failed 1, 2, 3 times, right? I'm going to take that short. Let's see what else we got. As far as position, get annoyed by this right quick. Do we have an Izzy? We do have an Izzy, and I still take this aggressively, right? If they're just sitting in the zone for hours, I'll still take them, but I need to see ATR retest confirmed. This one did move out of it. We already talked about this and came back. So here's a perfect example. What did I just say? The next tail to break is going to be the next big move, right? This is very close to just ripping off the screen. I don't know what's going to, if I knew what was going to happen next, I would just put on max size, make, 50 million bucks and then go to the desert island with Billy Ray Valentine, right? I don't know what's going to happen next. I think this is going to rip off the page, but guess what? If this real-time volume event, which is the driver of markets, turns bearish, I'm going short because I'm a day trader, right? So I'm not going to not take this trade. This will tell me, right? From watching 4.8 million of these things, I know if this is a truly bullish market, this will never even sniff coming back to the ATR. Right? If it does, then this is a bearish event, and I'm going to take a short, even though I think this is probably going to rip off the page today, right? So again, when I say think, it's just a thesis. A thesis is a guess. It looks bullish, but I let the real-time volume tell me if it's bullish. So that entry for this is 23.4950, and this is the sizing, right? So if I get in here, if I take the short here, and I stop out there, that's going to cost me 500 bucks if I'm wrong. That's the size I can put on. If I put the reversion trades on, I could put on, say it did this and that, I could put on 0.7. That's risking 500 bucks. So be careful if you're taking all 3 reversions, the 1, the 2, and the 3. If you took all of them, you'd be risking 500 each. So if you're going to do that, and you only want to risk $500 total, then just cut these basically in a third, right? So you can go 222, something like that, 0.2. These are micros. So this is based on the full contract. So if you're seeing 0.7, it's just 7 micros, 7/10 of a big one, the big contract, right? And again, this is the zone drawing tool. This is all customizable. All this stuff is. So you get this thing and you go in here and you go to advanced, right? Here's all your thresholds. You can change that. You can turn off this stuff. Those lines if you don't want to take the reversion trade. But then up here you put in your risk level. And again, I'm trading. This is for the Apex accounts. I'm risking 10%. On these other accounts, I'm risking 2.5%. So the $20,000 accounts, the real accounts I'm trading 10 different strategies on that. I'm risking 2.5%. So it's still $500, but this is set for 10% of these Apex accounts, right? So don't trade 10% of your real money, please, because you will blow out your account. I promise. All right, so if this moves out of here, I'm taking a slug and an Izzy short, right? I feel like the market's going to rip off the page today. This should not turn into a bearish event. 95.50. What we're going to do here too, I want to get better at this. This is really hard when you're watching multiple markets, and I don't want to micromanage these things. But like yesterday here, I'll even show you, so I'll rehash and get myself upset. This is what I'm talking about, how things have been going for me since I've gotten this live accounts. This one was top 3 of ridiculousness. Let's see if I can find it here. My room heard all about it yesterday, but it was quite enjoyable. But I'm going to show you how I can avoid it. So this was me yesterday, right? This literally hurts my stomach just looking at this. Is how much this pissed me off yesterday. So market opens. I forgot what trades they were. I think it was Izzy.
NQ stock sell NQ.
Oh.
235 contracts.
I'll come back to that. All right, I got to get these orders in. I need a quarter. I thought we had some time since the market wasn't doing anything. This is actually perfect entry because now I could trail my stop to this too. So we got Izzy. So I'm trying to do what I was getting at. I'm trying to avoid getting in on a price change, right? See how this is price changing right now? Because it's very likely going to pop out of here. See this price change? So I'm going to wait a second. So the way you can do this, you can time your entries better, right? And I'm going to show you, if I would have done this yesterday, I would have saved myself 3 huge losers. So see how that price change came in and it just bounced right off of there. So you could do it one of 2 ways. You can wait for a price change the other way to get in your short, or just say, okay, I saved myself here, I would have been filled, I'm going to wait a second, and then just get in up here. You just saved yourself 15 points or 10 points. So I'm going to wait a second here. And again, this is very difficult to do if you're trading multiple markets, because I can't sit there and watch every tick of the market, right? So I'm going to see if we can get it a little pop higher. If it comes down here again, see, I would have been, right now I would have been filled to the damn. Actually, it didn't even get down there yet. So this is the entry. So I was looking at the wrong line. But still, it's the same principle. This is the entry for that slug and Izzy I just talked about. It never got down there yet, right? But my point is, if you're hitting price change, I just showed you 10 of them where the market is reacting every time it has an outsized move, the thing goes the other way, right? You can trade this too. Again, if you want to literally, this is the other way to scalp. Look at this. Every time this thing gets over the 70% threshold level, I have it painted white, right? Reaction, 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 reaction. Little reaction, not a lot. Again, I don't know. I can't tell you exactly how far it's going to go. All I know is you can try to avoid getting in if this thing's firing off. So this is not, I'm probably going to just get in this because I don't want to miss this trade unless I see this firing off again. So again, this is 96 is my entry for the slug short and the Izzy short. So slug 4405. Hold on. All right, still get filled with the tick. No matter what I do, I get filled with the tick. This is just my life. I mean, it is unbelievable. But at least it wasn't price changing, so that's fine. All right, so what I did there, so this is the best scenario as far as my stop, right? This is how I trail my stops. So I've been talking about the short here. I just got short again to the tick as usual, right? My stop was up here off of this event. Well, now I got a new event, so now if I'm short, now I can move my stop to there. and I would probably move it just above there so I don't stop out right into the Gex level, right? So at least I'm going to save myself, if I do get stopped out of these shorts, I'm saving myself about close to 20 points, right? Well, it wouldn't be that much if I move it above the Gex one, but that's how I trade on my stops. So I got a little less risk on. I only filled on one of those, so if it comes back, I'll take the other one. I got on Izzy, I didn't get on Slug, but guys, you would not believe. So anyway, let me show you. If you don't believe me, this was yesterday. Unbelievable. Like, you know how many of these I've watched in my life? This one was like probably top 2 of ridiculousness, right? So it was 3 different strategies. I saw them like one after another. So I put on the first one. I think it was red rum, right? It was into the red ribbon. Got in, filled to the tick, snaps back. And actually, I don't have the price change on it. I think I do have a screenshot of the price change. I'll show you how you can avoid what I'm just showing. I was just showing you right now live. So then I'm like, oh, I missed an Izzy. I put that order in, came back, filled me to the tick on the Izzy again. I'm like, what is going on? Then I'm like, oh, I missed a bark. This one I put in the bark. I got filled, didn't even trade there on the big one. I got filled in the micro. So I got filled to the tick 3 different times. Stopped out of the trade. My point is, these prices are unbelievably accurate. It's annoying how accurate they are. So I took 1, 2, 3 different strategies. This was yesterday.
Stock by NQ, 183
Now we got buy stops the other way.
Prior NQ short retest.
All right, I didn't get one of those strategies on, so that's good at least. But we got another event. This is where you get clown show, whatever the hell's going on here. Buy stops and sell stops in the middle of nowhere. So regardless, I am short one of those. My stops trailed to that. I'm going to move it just above there, 53.50 if this is wrong. And I'll still put on the other one if it comes back. I just got lucky. Yeah, I said it. I got lucky. I didn't put on the other short yet. But now you have a new event. Now we can trade off of this event as far as new strategies, right? Depending on what. You can maybe put on the 1 ATR reversion is just above this Gex level, but I would probably put that on. That comes up there. It's not really a back and black. Again, the back and black's waiting for it to bounce off something, then taking the backdoor reversions. And then going this way, we really don't have much here as far as reversions, right? That's the 1 ATR, it's below that. But I will still put on, as long as this guy or this guy doesn't prove bullish, I'll still put on that original short I was going to put on, right? I'm always defaulting to the most recent event to decide what I'm going to do. But if these don't prove bullish, I'll still put that short on the other short. I just missed one. But this is my life. I came up with this stuff as far as, because I've watched so many of these. It is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Look at that price. I mean, that is 30 straight points up from tagging that price. The second I got in, like, what human being watches that 3,000 times in a week and doesn't lose their mind? Not many of them. All right, we got something in ES. Less bitching, more trading. I mean, I'm used to it, but I just my brain can't process how that can happen almost every time. That's where I get, and then I unravel. So I've been telling my trade room too. I've always told you guys, like, I bitch because that's my way of getting it out, right? So I don't break a screen or jump out a window. But I've been learning, because I'm listening, and this is on my desktop, by the way. Great book. Literally on my desktop. I just play it. This is from Dr. Brett. He wrote, this is the book I'm in, not this one, Enhancing Trader Performance. He wrote that one too. This helps on the mental side too, obviously, but it's really good on the mental side. But what I was saying is, I've always said, oh, I need to talk to get this stuff out of my, to get it off my chest. But like when I start talking about the ticks, I think I trigger myself, right? And then I start to get really, really upset, and then I get my brain, it's like I just go into another world. And you guys, trading, this is why trading is so hard, because it's so mental, right? So it's like, I've been trading for 25 years, and I've been trading this last week like I'm literally like a first week rookie, right? So you've got to monitor you got to come up with, you got to know, you got to catch yourself when you are going on tilt, and you got to know what triggers you. The tick out stuff, that, I mean, you're seeing it right now. Like, I'm actually well behaved from the way I've been as far as my complaining, and it's just human nature. But you got to learn to ways to deal with it. Like, I can't possibly in my right mind understand how that's the exact tick every single time I put on a damn trade, right? So I'm getting better at it, but I've been very bad this week, and I'm very ashamed of my actions. All right, I will take it back in black here. I gotta stop talking for a second. You guys got any questions? Leroy, we need you to hear trading every day. Leroy, I do this every day for my trade room, every single day. Usually twice a day. Well, not usually. The PM's been awful. But if there's a good trade, I get on. I'm always on in the morning. Jim Dooner already told you that because he's teacher's pet. That's pretty funny, Tom. The volume is okay. Your voice is low so you don't scare the cat. He's actually not in here. He knows better to be in here when I'm trading. He only comes in the middle of the night because he knows I'll throw him across the room. I'm one of my tick outs. Because this is what trading is, right? Like you're watching raw trading. Like this isn't I'm not some guy after the fact on the right hand end of the chart. I was talking to this Cyber Trading University. There were more stocks, but I did a webinar with him yesterday, Fausto. And we're talking about educators that tell you after the fact, oh yeah, look at that, I got short there, long here, blah blah blah. I'm trading live, right? And this is raw trading. Like you're watching with the emotions and me bitching and me, it's just this is how it really is, right? So I hope you guys can appreciate that. Who keeps coming in and out of the room? Really annoying. All right, let's see what's going on here. So we did get a new stop run. So this is a potential Izzy in ES, and this is doing exactly what I thought I was going to do thesis-wise, right? So here's an inflection zone. This is where this gap down the other day as well, right? So this is far. I don't like taking Izzy's. Say this zone was like right here. I don't want to take an Izzy on a balanced breakout because you got all these traders you're going to get run over. We just saw a stop run, right? This is pretty much far enough from this stuff that I'm willing to take it if it proves bearish. You see, I'm not just jumping in a short. This needs to prove bearish. So if that happens, I will go short. Remember my entries, I'm waiting for the market to show its hand, meaning push the ATR. Current ATR is it's 4.75. This could push the ATR out, then I get in just outside of the ATR, 150% of ATR. Let me get this stop in. I'm on the stop in, and I'm going to take a reversion off here too. Whoever keeps coming in and out of the Discord room, sweet cat. Speaking of cats, I don't know how to mute that either. I've muted it 100 times and it still doesn't work, so you guys got to listen to that. All right, I might take a reversion here if this struggles here. Let's do an example here of the.
NQ stock by NQ.
So this is a Gexie here.
67 contracts.
I'm going to take this. So no more reversion, right? A reversion's waiting, playing a trade back to the prior event. Well, we have a new event, but I just put on a sexy Gexie. As long as the relative volume isn't spiking, which I should always check before I put the trade on, and it's not. Right there. And I started looking at the 1 minute chart here too to give me an idea. Let's see. Yeah. So the 1 minute, there's nothing happening. You got to be careful with the 1 minute because you will get blips like this. I use the 5 minute ATR to judge, not to stand in the way of sexy Gexies. But you see, even on the 1 minute, it didn't get. It's not above normal. All right. So I put on the sexy Gexie here. Let me put this one on too. I did get filled on both of those. That's special. So I did get filled on both of those, the Slug and the Izzy earlier to the tick on both accounts, of course. Because that's just how it works for me. Like I said 10 times today. Anyway, sexy Gexie is looking for a dealer reaction. It's one of the only trades I jump in the flat smack dab in the middle of the zone, right? Or even, remember, I was going to take this one if it tagged it and failed. So the way I trade these is I'm looking for dealer reaction, because the dealers have to hedge here, as we've been showing you with the hero and stuff like that. So then I get out a half just in front of the ATR, and then I let half ride as a position trade, right? So this is where I'd start losing my mind with this, because there's nothing worse than watching a trade go against you and then listening to it. So I may be turning this off. I turn it off about 5 times a day, so I don't throw my cat across the room. My daughter's cat, that is. She wouldn't like that so much if she came home and saw that. So I got out of 4 here if it pops back. Sexy Gexie short. Then I'd watch for possible reversions back in black. Say tag that. that gamma level and started coming back, I would take the 1 ATR reversion. So let's see what happens here. I do have to get my stop in for this other trade though. I never trailed my stop here. That was at 50.25, and I thought I only got one of the strategies in, and I've got them both on, of course, because they're both losers. 58.25. Okay, that's on. I'm still long gold, by the way. Now I have to. I'm trailing to this. I'm glad I just saw this. So remember, I was long gold from down here. Slug and Izzy. I got out of some here. Got a new event. I trail my stop, and actually I could put on a potential short here. So the exit for these longs is this yellow line. That's the 115% of an ATR. That's where I get in or get out. At least I put a winner on. I'm so excited about that. 28. And then we'll look at possible shorts here. And then we're going to go over, the market did come back to that sell ice, and it's still failing. All right, so hold on a minute. So let's just look at the, before this thing flies off the page down. So this is an Izzy, right? Another Izzy. I put one on this morning, and it worked. Came back to this, so we put on the Izzy long here, one of my important areas where we got the volume event, and there was a slug, that Ludwig level, caught that move. Now we have a volume event in here. I'll take the Izzy short. I'll get out of my Izzy long and into my Izzy short. 20. And I could put on risking $500, 0.4 of a big contract or 4 micros. Again, even if it was 10. Meaning one micro or one big one, I don't put on one big one because then it's all or nothing for me to get out. Right? Right. Let's see what else we got here. And I'm going to show, we'll go over that, all that sell ice, how it came exactly back there. Goodness gracious. Got nothing, no lug trade. Remember we went long the slug here earlier. There's nothing Ludwig level. It did bounce off daily value or high. Daily value is just one standard deviation of VWAP. But I don't take trades off of that. That's not as powerful for me. We do have trades for the extreme standard deviation, but that's not happening right now. So the only short I got brewing right now.
NQ stop by NQ, 152 contracts.
Right, another puke here, right on the Gex one. I'm already short the Gexie, so I'm not going to put it on again. The stop for that, by the way, was here. So this is where I'll stop out.
GC short validated.
All right, I'm short. Hold on, I got to get out of this other. Short gold Izzy, so I'm out of my Izzy long and in Izzy short. I'm out of my fully out of my slug, right? I got the Gexie on here, and if this moves out of here, I'd put on shorts. We already went over that. So, so this is doing exactly what I thought I was going to do, right? And I'm short because I got short setups. I said, whatever tail was taken out, watch out the other way. And here we go. Now I get to listen to that nonsense. By the way, we are at the time for the hero manipulation. Let's take a look. Let's see what they're doing today. This one just moved from 400 million to almost 2 billion. So there you go. So I'm telling you guys, usually it's the opposite of what the market's doing, right? So say the market is like sitting up here, it's usually that. So, I mean, the market's been sitting up here, so this isn't the normal. Of course, the day that I talk about it, it's not happening, but it's happened the last 7 days in a row. But that's driving flow. It's one of the drivers. I'm not saying it's the only driver every day, but most of the time it's the only driver. It's algos and options dealers in here. All right, I'm still short that. What was I? So I was short off of this event, and I trailed to that. So I should be stepped out of this NASDAQ. Why am I not stepped out of this NASDAQ? I'll give it a second and see if this can pop back below. But remember I trailed my stop for this short. Remember I got short off of this to the exact tick. Well, I trail my stop to that. I just forgot to put it in as usual, so I'll give this a second. If this pops back up here, I'm out. That was the Izzy and Izzy short. And I was supposed to put the slug on at night. Oh no, I have both on. I'm sorry, on accident. 55 quarter. If that pops up there, I'll get out of these. Really, really annoying. All right. Need a hero alert or something. But, you know, going forward today, like, you know, these markets look very, very bullish just from the, you know, I know I'm not calling that because the market's doing this. I'm calling that by the way this broke out of this, put in that buying tail there, got through that prior balance. Like, this looks like it's going back to highs, right? Again, this is just a guess. If my volume events match my guess, then I trade bigger. That's it. I'm not saying I'm just not blindly going long. All right, I'll stay on a couple more minutes here. See if there's any other questions. See if we can get filled on this damn Gexie, half of them. Well, this is a new one here, so I didn't put on it more, but I'll get out of half there. So again, the Gexie is get you jumping right when you get the event, if it's an opposing event, right? And then I'm getting out of half looking for the dealer reaction off this Gex 1, and then I'll hold half looking for a bigger move because it is a volume event. Let's see, anybody else? Lost Discord video, still here, but no video. I don't know why that happened, but I'm getting off right now anyway. And then quickly, guys, this is what I posted. I'll post it one more time. This is everything I use in my trading because I always get emails. What do you use? What do I need to do? Right? So we go over here. First thing you want is Bookmap, obviously. There's discounts to that. Then you need the MBO bundle add-on. Just click on these and they bring you right to it. Here's Apex, by the way. I need to make this bigger. So these are a way to practice. We haven't gotten into these, but the way to practice, even if you're learning my stuff, don't be trading your own money. Use one of these and get good and show yourself you can be profitable. Then you trade your own money. Anyway, use Pulcini 50 for the code. That's your thank you to me for showing you the greatest edge on the planet. Anyway, you need Bookmap, MBO bundle. The rest of the stuff, like the MentorQ stuff, these are they actually have 40% off right now. I would take advantage of that, guys. I got to change this. It's just, I think it's just through this next week. So 40% off yearly or monthly. You have to have these levels. I'm telling you, you have to know this stuff. SpotGamma, you get 50% off. Use Scott 50. I think it is, yeah, or just Scott. I'm sorry, Scott. And you get 50% off your first month. So click on all these, and it just brings you right to the site. Right. Here's a lot of big levels. Here's Tick Strike, the annoyingness. I use it, but it's really annoying listening to your trades go against you. Here's my cartoon face. here's my channel. Here's all the information to contact me. And then again, if you want to follow what I'm doing, the number one thing I use is the SI indicator setups. And then I apply the setups to my areas, which comprise my trading strategies. And then this is all about the reversion trade. That's more of the scalp trade, right? Where you're looking for moves off of there. Here's a drawing tool I've been using. This thing is a godsend. So you don't have to draw the zones by hand. I talk about how to do that in the SI course because I never had this in the past, but this thing is a godsend for your sizing, for everything. This site's kind of down right now. Don't worry about that. Here's my trade room. So click on these and I'll bring you all this stuff. Let's see if I get filled on this. So this is the other thing too, right? It's like I'd be getting ticked, like you saw me get filled with the tick down here, and then I'll have my order and it'll come literally to the tick and not fill me and then do that. It's just been happening non-stop. It's driving me crazy. Crazy train in honor of Ozzy Osbourne. All right, guys, that's it. I do this every day. Someone asked, he wishes I do this every day. I do it every day in my trade room. Come on by. And you get discounts to all this stuff too, like the courses and my mentoring and everything else. All right, so kind of back and forth day. We got kind of screwed by whatever hell happened here in Crude. And it was my own fault for not getting out at that Gex level down here. But I got Gexie short on. My thesis for the rest of the day, unless something changes, is markets are going to rip off the page. If I get bullish events, then I will take bigger sized longs. That's all I do when it matches my thesis. All right, I will see you guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you next